commission, for those of you that are not familiar with it, was founded in 1961. There are 5 signatory members to that commission, the 4 states and the federal government, and with reuse, between 90 and even potentially 100% of that, you would still need about 72 billion gallons of water. This development is expected to take place over a 10 to 20, 25, 30-year period. When we first started in this process, that estimate was higher, but looking at the experiences that have been occurring in Pennsylvania, and particularly in the Susquehanna River Basin, the flowback estimates have come down a bit. The issue is, of course, existing treatment capability in the basin, and as well as capacity, rather, and then capability of those treatment plants to actually treat these wastewaters.
I apologize to people that have taken numbers to testify. Because of this, we probably won't get through all the numbers.
No alternative for water. Gas and profits may be inviting to some, but water is essential to us all. The amount of fresh water on Earth in our region and in our basin is finite. And yet the DRBC is proposing with these regulations to give hundreds of billions of gallons of our fresh water to the drillers, not in the form of a temporary use that will eventually return to our water systems, but a permanent taking.
3 words. What is the rush?
I strongly believe that the success of African American or American business is inextricably linked to the success of domestic energy sector. For our economy to grow and be competitive in the global economy, we need a steady supply of cheap, reliable energy.
Property values decline, drinking water contamination, increased infrastructure cost, and stream, land, and air contamination has led to unexpected expense for communities where drilling is occurring. 2,486 gas well violations in Pennsylvania in 2010 alone. She also points out that with gas drilling, other industries decline, such as sustainable energy industries, such as agriculture, sport hunting and fishing, tourism, and organic farming. These costs must be factored in order to get a realistic economic picture of a short-term boom that an infusion of cash to a limited number of landowners who lease out mineral rights. This does not translate into a public economic recovery. Let's get real. They don't even tax gas in Pennsylvania or New York. The public will be left with a bill for cleaning up the mess, especially since the gas industry is exempt from the Superfund law. Cleaning up pollution once it occurs is actually not really possible. Groundwater that is ruined is virtually forever polluted. This is especially true when you're dealing with a radionuclide with a half-life of 1,600 years, and radon, a half-life of 4.5 billion years, both of which are produced by shale gas drilling in Pennsylvania. What it comes down to is not just who makes a fast buck, but who pays the ultimate cost of the activity, and how much will it cost? And what about our obligation to promote the general welfare, like our Constitution says? Are we okay to spray carcinogens in the air from your backyard, or poison downstream waters like ours because you're making money? Is it all justifiable to put in a toxic waste dump for a lucrative lease? Sadly, these things may actually come to pass with gas development now or in the future. How will future generations judge us for this glitzy boom? Only the DRBC knows for sure, because the jail
which I am the president, CEO, and owner. I went through the necessary background checks, letters of credit, and bonding that are necessary to become a licensed well driller under the regulations of the Pennsylvania DEP. I applied for, was granted, and currently hold 2 natural gas well drilling permits from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, located in Wayne County. On June 23rd, 2009, I met with the staff of the DRBC in attendance of the required pre-drilling conference. My surveyor, engineer, and hydrologist also joined me at this meeting. I was assured that the regulations were shortly forthcoming from the DRBC that would allow for the production of natural gas as well as the protection of the water within the basin. Here we are 20 months later, and the regulations that have been proposed by the DRBC are unacceptable, unworkable, overreaching, and unconscionable. Under these proposed regulations, the oil and gas industry cannot access capital markets, create jobs, spur economic activity, or explore and develop natural gas.
I'd like to thank you for the draft that you put out. I also like to request that you not extend the comment period. A 3-year wait is more than sufficient. This hall is not even full of speakers, so there's time adequate. Our main priority is that we keep the power home in our state, where we as landowners vote and pay taxes.
The best generation in this country has seen are dying off and at a rapid pace. The World War II generation is the one that I'm talking about. That was at a time when the whole country stood together as one and did not rely on other nations to feed us, build our armaments, etc. With the meltdown happening in some African nations and the Middle East countries, where most of our fossil fuels come from, will you conservationists of conveniences wake up? You will when all of us are paying over $5 per gallon for gas and fuel oil that heat our homes and drive us to work. And by the way, thank you.
Regulations for shale gas fracking must be based upon a cumulative impact study.
In keeping with our belief that good stewardship can go hand in hand with reasonable economic development, my wife Denise and I support development of natural gas resources within the Delaware River Basin. That said, the proposed draft Delaware River Basin Commission drilling regulations are so onerous that they have slammed and locked the door on gas exploration or production within the basin.
It is unconstitutional for a government entity to confiscate the people's land without remuneration. So if you want to overregulate us out of bringing our gas to market, why aren't you paying us the fair market value of our gas? New York City, New Jersey, and Delaware have polluted their water sources. There is technology to make these water sources palatable. So why aren't the citizens of these states asking their representatives to raise their taxes to pay for the cleanup of these rivers? Why is all the financial burden to supply clean water put on our citizens in Wayne County? Pennsylvania has paid the monetary dues to DRBC on time every year. So why is it New York City is behind in their fees to support the DRBC? Pennsylvania owns 51% of the land in the DRB. So why does it only have a 20% say in the decisions that the DRBC makes? You raise concerns that gas drilling will use too much water from the Delaware watershed. The aqueduct carrying water to New York City spills 35 million gallons of water every day.
So don't poison
it takes only 5 million gallons to totally frack a well. The DRBC has expanded its authority to rule over our land. So why doesn't it expand its authority to control and repair the aqueducts? Our Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection has regulations in place and experience of gas well drilling and fracking for 60 years. Over 300,000 wells have been fracked, and not one well drinking water supply has ever been contaminated by fracking. So why doesn't the DRBC acknowledge their incompetence and relinquish authority of our Pennsylvania land to our Pennsylvania representatives? 37% of our residents in Wayne County receive government aid, while citizens of Bradford County.
So the gas industry tells us there has not been one documented case of water pollution or migration, and there is a growing list of people experiencing problems related to this industry. So someone is lying to us. Shouldn't we wait and rely on science to study what the dangers really are? When do we need to be honest and say 3%, 5%, or whatever of the wells will have some sort of failure and we should just deal with it?
We're with a lot of just citizens who are speaking up on this, and to them it's just crazy this kind of activity would be allowed anywhere where people live. But one big objection actually for people that are in downstate New York is why is it that the major population centers that are stakeholders in this haven't seen a hearing? Now the New York City Council Environmental Committee next Tuesday is having a hearing on hydrofracking of gas in the DRBC process, and I'm wondering if you can answer this. Will there be anybody from DRBC present at that hearing?
The unpredictability of gas drilling can be made of the words of Donald Rumsfeld, who used them to address the unpredictability of war. He said, there are known knowns, things that we know. We also know that there are known unknowns, things we do not know. But there are also unknown unknowns, the ones we don't know. There have been a number of major unknown unknowns, catastrophes related to drilling in the past few years the cause of which, even when proven by studies, are said to be unknown, even though studies show that they know. Perhaps one of the most dramatic, if not most well-known examples, is the 2006 mud volcano of East Java, which erupted after exploratory drilling. Imagine a mud flow that covers 3 square miles at a depth of 65 feet, that swallows 4 villages, 25 factories, kills 13 people after rupturing a natural gas pipeline, displaces 13,000 families with a flow so inexorable that it fills 50 Olympic-sized swimming pools a day, or that construction of dams, levees, drainage channels, and plugging the crater with concrete balls all fail. Even though a study concluded that a known cause of the eruption came from overestimating